What is up, everybody? Back again with another review video, and today's review is over the DC Multiverse McFarlane Collector Edition Green Lantern simonbaz, and this is the Platinum Edition. Now this is basically the power ring or evil version of simonbaz based on a different Earth, but that's pretty much all I know from some quick research because I cannot stay up to date on the multiple comics. I was originally going to pass on this guy, but I did not really realize he was I guess you can say, a different character in general and based on a different Earth. So I decided to pick him up. I thought it was pretty cool. And I still do not have the regular version, but it should be on its way from Big Bad Toy Store here soon. Now getting into the actual figure, eventually we'll get into all the different accessories, and there's quite a bunch of them, which is great. It's 12 plus, just like every other McFarlane figure. 22 moving parts, another similar feature compared to all the other figures. Then here on the side, you're gonna see Green Lantern, McFarlane Collector Edition from Green Lanterns, and it is a number 26 in the actual line. Then moving on to the back, here is simonbaz. Not any different variation going on here, even though it is based on a different Earth. So it's kind of, I guess, bland in terms of Platinum Edition. That's something I wish they would do for the Platinum Edition, is actually change out the card, or obviously change out the art, since that is what is on the actual card, just to make it a little more special. And therefore, if you do actually collect the cards, put them in a binder, you can see the differences and obviously know one is the Platinum version and the other is the regular version. That's just my 2 cents. I feel like it's a great idea for the future. Then moving on to the last side here, you're gonna get Green Lantern once again, and then a number 26 in the line as well. And for those who may be searching in store, here is the barcode. I found this one at my Walmart, luckily, and I decided to just pick it up that way. But let's get into the actual figure. Starting off, the first thing you're gonna get is the display stand. We've seen it time and time again for collector edition, and the only difference is the actual DC logo here being in a kind of silver color compared to just a matted black. So other than that, same old, same old. Next thing included is the card. Nice looking card, and like I said, just that chromed out text always looks amazing to me, and this looks like a fantastic card and pretty cool card. The color combo is amazing, and I think it's a great art and probably one of the best arts in my opinion for the actual year 2024. And then here is the read up for simonbaz if you feel like pausing the video to read it yourself. And the next couple of things, something and a big reason I like a lot of the actual Green Lantern figures is the amount of accessories you actually get for them to hold. First one is this kind of hammer or laser or drill. It's a drill. I don't know why it took me a long time to figure out what it was. Obviously the hand goes in here, and then it's like a little drill going on right here. So that's a pretty unique and cool accessory. It's not something we've seen before, at least I have not seen before with another figure. Nice detail just going on here. Not too pointy there at the end, so you're not going to stab yourself or cause any blood. As you can see, I'm not bleeding, at least not yet. And there is the arm slot or hand slot for you to actually put the hand in. Most likely though, you're gonna have to take the actual hand off, and it's just gonna be the arm, because I don't think the hand is getting through there. And then just some more detail here on the actual side and on top. Definitely a great accessory, and it doesn't stop there. You get even more. Next one is the typical Green Lantern ring power lamp. And pretty much just a little different than some others. It seems like every other figure kind of varies how the lamp actually looks. Actually seems a little thin on the actual handle, but it is a good shape and size. But yeah, I just feel like they're testing out the different sizes and shapes of them, trying to actually figure out what is best for them to hold and what looks the best, but not too different in terms of detail, just in terms of the handle, the thickness. That seems to be the only difference. And this one, I feel like there are some great proportions and shouldn't look too big in the actual figure's hands. And then the next one is an actual hammer. As you can see, nice detail going on as well. Translucent color just like all the others. Some handle detail going on as well right here. And then it's not as sharp bottom, it's cut off right there. And just nice flat ends, top right here. And other than that, looks fantastic as well. Some great detail, not a whole bunch, but pretty much all that is needed. And it is a realistic size, at least I feel like it is. And definitely not too long of a handle compared to a lot of McFarlane's accessories always seem to be over exaggerated in terms of size. And then here is a robotic type of fist. Once again, put the arm through here. The hand you're probably going to have to take off, and then just some nice detail going on around there. As you can see, looks fantastic for the knuckles or robotic knuckles. Nice texturing going on here as well, all around. Just a lot of care was put into these actual accessories, as you can tell. And then you're going to get two different faceplates. One that is kind of smiling or evil smiling, I don't know what to call it, gritting the teeth. Say it how you want to say it, I don't know. I would say gritting the teeth is probably the closest. And it kind of looks like the eye is squinting on mine. Don't know if it's supposed to look like that. Hopefully it is. I'm just gonna go with it and say it is. So great detail going on there. And it is kind of a smaller faceplate compared to normal, just because of the size of the head for simonbaz already. Could come into play to be a little difficult to interchange it, but who knows. And then here is just kind of like a closed mouth and kind of just serious expression. Same detail, looks amazing and fantastic. Mine does have a black line there at the side, so that's a little unfortunate, but I'm sure it won't be of a big concern when I actually get to changing them out. And I probably will forget about it at that point. But then here is the actual figure, the reason you all are here. Now another reason that I kind of was staying away from this figure is just the green paint going on here. And the reason I eventually got it was because some pointed out maybe it's just a way to kind of give it that little power up look and kind of make it a little evil looking by having the green going around and just looking kind of like possessed like in a way for the arm, which kind of makes sense. So eventually I did decide to get him. So that was also a big part as to why I got him. Yeah, just at first it looks like a kindergarten was just like painting all over the arm, and that's how it ended. But now it's potentially that's probably why they did it. Or if anything, he looks a little beat up. And some though still may look like little green poop stains. It is what it is. I think it looks okay, and depending on how you look at it, that could vary. And getting into the figure, just some white boots going on there. Kind of a more matted finish right there on the plastic, and here at the bottom it's more of a shiny white. That's one issue when it comes to a lot of the Green Lantern figures, is that the whites seem like they're all different usually and typically, and here there is really no difference, and especially these white joints differentiate from the actual white going on throughout the boot and the foot. And then you got the nice logo right there, painted pretty well on mine. Nice face sculpt, just like the actual face plates. Very crazy looking teeth. Usually I'm not a big one in terms of the actual teeth, but in this case I feel like they did a great job. Doesn't look ugly or jokerized in terms of that nature. And going around, the white's going to carry on to the back. I like how they kind of aligned it in a way. And then there's some green line detail, and the rest is pretty much black, at least from what I can actually see. Now the bottom portion does kind of look like it's a little green mixed in with black, but that could just be my eyes messing with me. But it is different from the actual black on the actual torso. I don't know if you can kind of get that vibe through the camera, but that is what I'm getting with my own personal eyes. And then you do have the green lines carrying on onto the back for the actual head. Getting into the actual articulation, starting off the head here, side to side, no issue, not too tight, not too loose. And then looking down about that much in terms of looking up, dang near breaking his neck to look up, but there it is, all the way. So great articulation in terms of the actual head, up, down, and around. And if you really want to break his neck, there you go, broken, he's dead now. So there it is, he can do 360 in the head. And then when it comes to the actual T-pose, there you go. Perfect, no issue there. And then in terms of 360, no issue, although it is kind of flaring outwards. Doesn't seem like it wants to go straight up and around. It's kind of just going out at an angle. And then here for the actual bicep cut, perfect, no issue. In terms of the actual elbow, there you go, perfect as well. And when it comes to the actual hand, no issue there, 360. And then it can go down this much, and then up this much. So pretty great. And then there is the ring detail going on. And he does have this tattoo, which I forgot to point out. And I'm sure that aligns with the character. I don't know him too well, so therefore I don't know all the details. And something I do like about this is that since it's a glove, this is okay for the wrist joint to actually match with the skin tone. Doesn't look like it's out of place. It actually makes sense. So that is good that the character is like that and does wear gloves. So therefore it is not kind of a ugly looking type of issue. And there is the upper torso swivel. There you go. No issue. In terms of ab crunch, there you go. And then going backward, about that much, and it kind of exposes underneath, but not too much to the point it is super ugly and takes away from the figure. I feel like that is a reasonable amount. Also, how many people are actually going to bend it back that much? Hopefully not many, because if you do, don't know what type of pose you're going for personally. And then here is the waist, no issue there in terms of rotation. And once again, hip swivel, all there and fantastic. Let me align the lines there. And then get into the actual splits. Yeah, he's very flexible. As you can see, he's definitely going to win the Olympics with his articulation there. So no issue. The diaper, some are going to have a complaint that I said diaper. Once again, I don't care. If you want to hear me say trunks, there you go. Trunks, there it is. But there is no hold back there. It is fantastic. Doesn't limit articulation by any means. In terms of the knee, there you go, all the way. So perfect there. Then when it comes to the actual foot, side to side, no issue. Down, side to side, no issue. And then last but not least, up, side to side, no issue. Just from side view, that's how much it can actually go up. Go down that much. And then in terms of toe articulation, no issue there. So definitely a very great figure when it comes to the actual articulation. Now let me get into my final thoughts on this figure. When it comes to the first faceplate, here is what it looks like. Overall, pretty decent, and I think it looks pretty great. Then here is what the second faceplate looks. Overall, pretty well and pretty nicely designed. A nice fit overall, and definitely was pretty easy to swap out and put the other one in, so you're not going to have any issue there. When it comes to my final thoughts on this figure, overall I think it is pretty well, decently done, and since it is a platinum edition, pretty much the only two things in consideration are, is the paint application pretty well done, and two, is it a good platinum edition choice? When it comes to a platinum edition choice, I think it is a great choice. It makes sense for what it is. And then when it comes to paint application, the only issue, or a couple of issues should I mention, is the arm. If you think about it actually being kind of like some glow from the actual ring, or the creation from the ring, and just kind of like the illumination light bouncing onto the arm, I think it's decent. Although I definitely probably would have made it a little lighter of a green, so therefore it kind of looked more like a reflection. And some said it was kind of just like the arm being corrupted, so that's another thing to think about. In terms of the corruption, it makes sense, but if it is kind of to represent the glow, then I definitely think it should have been a lighter green, but it would have had to differentiate from the tattoo on the actual arm, so therefore the tattoo didn't blend in. And then when it comes to the actual boots, that is something McFarlane continues to struggle with, is the white on the actual joint is different from what it is on the boot. The boot is kind of a more cream white, and then on the actual joint it's more just like the regular white we're used to, and has that nice shine to it, and that's just kind of an issue, and it is partially glaring when you look at it closer. And when it comes to the actual lines or the actual paint application, I think they're decently well done, although there's some areas where the lines aren't straight, such as on the actual top of the head. There's one that's actually straight, the other curves in a little bit, and there are other areas where the green lines are a little thicker than others, or thicker than they should actually be. But when it comes to the actual logo, it's pretty well done. The face plates are pretty well done as well and painted on. And then when it comes to the actual black, I think in the early part of this video, I mentioned how it looked like it was more of a darker black and then faded into a greenish black. But the more closer you actually look into it, based on obviously being right in front of you compared from a distance, it kind of looks like it's of a regular black from a distance on the upper torso, and then a greenish black on the bottom. But that is not the case. It is kind of a greenish or green and black mixture all throughout. So everywhere it looks black, it's actually more of a green and black combination, but it's not super obvious or kind of like ugly looking. I think it blends in pretty well. Overall, when it comes to articulation as well, I think they did a pretty decent job. Actually, pretty much the best they could have done. The articulation is pretty great overall and definitely has the flexible features. And when it comes to the actual faceplates, the expressions they chose, pretty sure they match the regular version, but I do not have it currently at this time. Great expressions, pretty much all you need, and great choices. The accessories, when it comes to the power functions from the actual ring, very, very well done as well. I love the variation. They continue to nail this part for Green Lantern figures. There's not anything else I could have asked for. I think they're all of a reasonable size, which is an issue they kind of fixed with this figure, I guess you can say, because usually the accessories look like it's, I don't know, like a Tonka truck being lifted by an actual figure. It's usually of a unrealistic size. It makes no sense, but here they are of a perfect size. And then when it comes to, I guess you can say, considering more other parts of this figure, I think it should have came with an actual flight stand. That's something I feel like should be included for all Green Lantern figures, is an actual flight stand, because it makes sense. They are characters that are mainly up in the sky and not really on their actual feet. Now, if I were to actually rate this figure out of 10, I would have to say a 8.8 out of 10 from me. And that's going to wrap up today's review. If you did enjoy this review, please like, comment, subscribe down below for more future content. But until then, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.